Hello, everybody. We're going to have a good talk today. I took a whole bunch of notes here because it's a lot. It's a lot to go through, and I want to get it right. Yesterday, I stated it was Newfoundland was the other province that had mandated vaccines for schools, but it was actually New Brunswick. So I wrote a lot down to go through with you, and like I said, I'm going to give it a few minutes to let people log on. I see they are. Had a busy morning with the UK guys. It was pretty interesting. I got a ton of screenshots. I didn't record the Zoom, but I did take screenshots of all the presentations on media. But today, now, this is the video I promised you guys yesterday. So, yeah, people are coming on. We're going to start with the Provincial Administrative Penalties Act. That was Bill 21. That was delivered first by Jason Kenney's administration, July 23rd, 2020, his busy summer before they closed Parliament. For any of you who haven't looked at this, a lawyer goes into great detail. Some of you provided me the video of what that lawyer talks about. He goes heavily into gun rights and into impaired driving. But of course, what's happening with this bill, you guys, is Jason Kenney's opting to take away that federal power of the criminal code and instead get the police and courts to turn it into an administrative function, taking away your right to a fair trial, take away everything and put a punitive damage on you in fine and give you not a legal court system, but actually remove the judiciary, which, it is against constitutional power, but that's only if you're charged with a crime, see? So they can remove that from you, the police, and now try to attempt to remove all kinds of prosecution. Now, a lot of people hate impaired drivers. A lot of people would argue this is a great thing. However, it's not just a phase one. There's a phase two, and I'm going to go through the phase three that lawyer doesn't really go into for all of you. And now remember, this was July 23rd of this year, okay? It was about a week before they closed their legislature for the fall season. And phase three is this, you guys. Any area that they wish that's a provincial power to turn into an administrative function, meaning they don't have to respect any rights or give you any kind of court cases if they don't add a criminal element to it, and it's covered under the constitutional powers of the province. All your civil rights, imagine property, imagine vaccines, it just goes on and on. Your ability that's not covered under the federal constitution and charter rights, these are your civil rights. So your ability to protest goes on, and we see that of where they're going with this is they've already started this fining process, telling you that should you breach the act, they put all these fines. This now is literally going to be in law post the 2021, and it's listed right in this bill called Bill 21, Agenda 21, and it also goes into how post 2021 phase 3 will be implemented. It's disturbing where this comes from. There is no bill like this in really any other province. Manitoba has some administrative functions where there's still a court process you get to go through. You could appeal to the courts. Jason Kenney's removing all courts. You don't get a judge, you don't get a jury, you get a government panel of police, not judges, not even lawyers. There's no appeal, there's limited what you can do, and they want to apply it throughout the provincial powers. So they can fine you, strip you of guns, property, all kinds of civil rights not covered under the federal constitution of charter rights and freedoms. Those provincial powers. It goes way beyond anything presented on YouTube by that lawyer. That's phase 3. Now, why get into this? Because we're going to get into even more here, what Jason Kenney did the following week and what he passed. So the Public Health Act, which is Alberta, as some of you should know, most of you should know, those who don't, health is a provincial power. It's a provincial constitutional right. And the act was amended July 29th, along with many, many others, including COVID changes. But are you ready for this? Section 38.1. And that's Selma is now our governor, our Lieutenant Governor General here in Council for Alberta, who has this power stated in Section 38.1 of our Public Health Act. And I'm going to tell you what that says right here. That she alone can decide to mandate you for mandatory vaccines. She has, the Lieutenant Governor here in Alberta, has the absolute authority, even though it's illegal in Canada, it's illegal in the UK, she has the absolute authority to mandate any vaccine in the province of Alberta against any one of you. That's what Jason Kenney allowed to go through July 29th, 2020. Didn't scrap that as we get into COVID. He allowed that to go through. Section 38, paragraph 1, article 1, and there's 1 to 3, even gives her powers over elections. Now we look at August 26, 2020. This is where you're ready. So the Lieutenant Governor is appointed here for all provinces by the Prime Minister. So Jason Kenney allowed that constitutional power of the monarch to go through in a provincial act, a provincial power, transferring that power to none other than Justin Trudeau, because the following month, Justin Trudeau appointed Selma, who reports to him. So now Justin Trudeau ultimately can mandate vaccinations against you right here in Alberta. That's what he did. Jason Kenney did that, everybody. This is a fact. These are all facts. Look them up. There are way more bills. It's pathetic. It's disturbing. Jason Kenney is the ultimate worst premier in Alberta's recorded history. He's the worst globalist. It goes on. July 29th marks massive, massive rights, charter rights and freedoms he had ripped away from you. There's Bill 32, 31, 30, 10. It goes on and on. He bragged about how busy he was. Look at the constitutional powers he transferred to the Crown, which is ultimately Justin Trudeau. You tell me Jason Kenney isn't a radical liberal? There's lawyers screaming at you right now. There's, for people, share the video on the gun rights lawyer who doesn't even go into the great big picture, because that's not his specialty, but I sure do. And it's phase 3, all your civil rights. I've read all the bills. It goes well beyond the 21, even though it's the first one set for the end of 2021, Agenda 21. It's brutal, guys. It's brutal. Losing your firearms rights, if they want to take it, all administrative. There's no appeal process, nothing you can do. Can't even run to the Supreme Court of Canada. Thanks, have a good day. Check all this out. It's all real. Share it.
So that was Dave Bjorkman. You can find him on Facebook. He probably won't mind if you go send him a friend request. He's probably a pretty good ally to have in Alberta right now. He does a lot of independent work on his own, as you've seen there, researching things as they come out, and he's always got his ear to the tracks as far as it goes for new crazy stuff happening. And as you can see, we've got some kind of Gestapo-style laws, or I shouldn't say laws, administration act that's going to bypass criminal laws so that they can just do whatever they want with you pretty much on the spot. And I've got a link to the lawyer I believe he was talking about as well, and I'll leave the link for you for that. Actually, I'll probably put it in the box, so at the end of the video you can just go right to him. That's probably the one to listen to next. What was I going to say? They can do anything they want, pretty much, and it's like a kangaroo style court. He talks about all of that. There's no, you get 7 days to appeal it, and then 21 days or something like that to find a lawyer if you even attempt to challenge it. And then they put a judiciary in charge, which is like not a judge, but someone who, like a lawyer who will represent the crown, and they will give you your kangaroo court, boom, 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 on anything that you get caught for or that you have to deal with this. Now, he talks about your personal rights, so property, including your body, and that this could turn into the vaccination being now mandatory in Alberta. They'll be able to supersede any laws that are available to protect you from it. And another thing that's interesting in regards to that coming out recently, despite the fact it was penned up July 23rd, is that Madu and Kenney have decided to increase the policing ability. So more cops are going to get the ability to enforce all of these laws, or sorry, this administration that's going through. So we'll listen to him talk here. This won't take very long, but he says something really important near the end where I'll stop this that's pretty interesting to consider. And he kind of just smuggles it in at the end of his little statement here, like as trying to hope no one would notice it, in my opinion.
Increasing the number of peace officers who can sanction fines against those who break the rules. Currently,
and those are the $1,000 to $100,000 fines.
Public health legislation is handled by police, health inspectors, and level 1 Alberta peace officers. Now, on top of these, I am temporarily extending this authority to about 700 more officers, to both certain level 2 Alberta peace officers and level 1 community peace officers.
These are the highly untrained police units that, I don't know if you watch Rebel News or not, but there was this kid who was driving his tractor this summer, and when he didn't understand what they were asking him, when all these cops jump on his tractor because he drove through a checkpoint, they slammed him to the ground from the top of a John Deere on his face, and he got messed up pretty bad, but he ended up winning his court case. So good on the Rebel for getting in there and helping people with that kind of stuff once in a while. But that's, at any rate, the kind of jock police that we're going to have that are going to be able to do whatever they want coming up here. So we'll listen on carefully.
This means Alberta peace officers who are level 2 and work in ministries outside of my department, and level 1 community peace officers who are employed by municipalities across Alberta. Both already have the training and experience necessary to enforce public health orders if required during a provincial emergency.
So now they're also enacted and enabled to enforce health orders under a provincial emergency. So we're under a provincial emergency. So what he's just said, in my opinion, at least anyway, not that I'm a lawyer or anything, is that they can enact this. This whole thing is going to be theirs to enact on you. This is insanity. We are getting put under some, like I say, some Gestapo style stuff pretty quick here. Like I say, I'll leave a link to the lawyer who talks about this at length. You need to share this with everybody that you know in Alberta. They talk about what we can do right now. So Monday, you need to get ready and get a hold of your MLA and go and complain severely about this. You can complain to Madu. It's time to start bombing them, and Kenney. So whoever your local MLA is, Kenney and Madu, you need to get a hold of all of them, some shape or form or another. Email, snail mail, both. Bug them on Facebook, bug them on whatever, Twitter, any way you can. We need to kind of start fighting back against this like immediately, even though it's been put through. Yeah, super not cool. So like I say, I'll leave the links to everything. I'll leave the link to this. I will provide a little link so you can go right to the lawyer and listen to him next. You have to share this. I'm begging you to fucking share this. Okay, so maybe that'll be my last transmission for this evening anyway, but this one was too important to pass up. So thanks for listening, and let's get this done. Let's get this fucked up. All right, peace out.